All right, where should I begin? "2020 has been an interesting year to say the least, and you know what? Can't do those masks. It gets exhausting when you're sitting in a hot car. We started off the year strong with a boodle. I think technically it's called a boodle fight. And what is a boodle fight, you ask? Great question. Well, it's this Filipino tradition where a bunch of soldiers would gather around a really long table and it would have piles of food on top of banana leaves. And the fight was eating as much as you could, scarfing it all down. So we boodled with some friends of ours, and then we went to a Gatsby themed party to watch the new year come in. And it turns out Amanda and I were some of the only ones dressed up for this party, but we still had a lot of fun. For work, Amanda traveled to China, and the week she got back, we started hearing about this virus that was spreading. To be honest, we weren't too worried about it yet. I don't think anyone was. We thought it would be one of these things that would just pass with time. We had our first snow of the year in Raleigh, and anytime it snows in Raleigh, it's like snowpocalypse. Everyone freaks out. Schools, businesses, everything shuts down for a few days.
Last week, we had a 65-degree day.
Yeah, I think so.
And right now, it's snowing.
Also, anytime there's like a big weather storm, for some reason, Amanda and I crave Indian food. So I hopped in the car in the middle of the snowstorm and went to Biryani Express, our favorite Indian spot in Raleigh. If you live in Raleigh and you've never been to Biryani Express, you haven't truly lived until you've gone there. All of the colleges in the area went on spring break, and little did the students know they wouldn't be returning to campus. And during college spring break, we went on a ski trip with some friends.
We made it. We had 1 mile left until gas ran out.
It turned out to be fantastic conditions. It snowed on our way up there, which meant we had fresh powder the next day when we skied. But it also meant we had a hard time getting up the mountain. After trying to get up the mountain like 10 different times, we finally found a route to get up to the cabin. And when we got up to the cabin, the key didn't work. So I'm like calling, trying to pick the lock, anything I can do so we don't have to stay out in the cars for the night and freeze to death. Eventually, we did find the landlord. Long story short, we got in and we had a great weekend. In fact, that was probably the last normal feeling weekend we had. The following week, you know what started making headlines. I can't say the name of it in this video or else YouTube will demonetize me. Honestly, we still weren't freaking out that much, but a lot of other people started to. I remember going to the grocery store because we needed a few things and everything was picked over. I'm talking produce to paper products. It was all sold out. It was crazy. It felt apocalyptic in a way. And I really needed to get toilet paper because Amanda and I had just run out, and I could not find any at the first few stores I went to. Finally, I went to Food Lion. I got the second to last package of it. And from that time on, you know what, continued to get worse.
This has become the new normal.
Businesses started to close down, quarantines went into effect. Amanda and I weren't really working and we started hanging out a bunch together. As a part of my boredom, I started making quarantine diary videos. If you haven't watched those yet, I recommend doing so. Those videos do a good job at summing up in a humorous way what life was like for those 2 months. Toilet paper shortages, hanging out at home, lots of TV shows, Netflix, Zoom calls, you name it. But you know, we had some fun too. I filmed a couple music videos for my buddy Caleb. We went on some bike rides. We were running every day. I say were because quarantine had us so cooped up that we resorted to doing something as awful as running. We filmed a couple TikToks.
Flip the switch, flip, flip. I don't know nobody else that's doing.
I practiced my fly fishing game. We definitely tried to make the most of quarantine. And then some tragic things happened in our country. And this past month, I rocked a mustache, celebrated 4th of July with my family, attended a couple virtual weddings, and we went to a real life one. So it seems like a lot of stuff has happened in 2020 so far. but at the same time not. You know, normal life has been disrupted and I'm excited for it to get back. Hopefully when we look back at this video, it'll be a thing of the past. And now, it's my 27th birthday. I'm probably gonna celebrate by going to get Chipotle to go and eating it at home.